We're going to start with the clavicle right here. The sternal end is going to be here, and the SC joint is going to be right here on the clavicle. And then moving on to the acromial end, which is here, the clavicle, as well as the AC joint is going to be placed right here. And then the manubrium is going to be here between the two clavicle at the top of the sternum. Moving on to the scapula, we have the acromion process, which is right here. And then we have the coracoid process, which is anterior right here. And then if you spin around, we have, and put your arm behind your back, we have the lateral border of the scapula right coming down here. And then the medial border of the scapula right here. And then from there, we're gonna go to the inferior angle, which is the very bottom of the scapula. And then the spine of the scapula is going to be running right across. All right, we're moving on to the humerus, which is this bone right here. The head of the humerus is in the glenoid cavity, so it's the top of the humerus. The deltoid tuberosity is sitting right here under the bicep. The greater tubercle is sitting back here on the head of the humerus, with the lesser tubercle right here in front. And then the intertubercular groove is in between the two. And then the neck of the humerus is sitting right below the head right here. We're going to be starting with the deltoid muscle, which is located right here on the shoulder. The anterior part of the deltoid is right here. That does arm abduction, flexion, horizontal adduction, and internal rotation of the arm. Next, we have the rear deltoid, which is located right here. It does abduction, extension, horizontal abduction, and external rotation of the arm. Last, we have the medial deltoid, which is located right here on the deltoid muscle, and it assists with abduction. Next, we have the pectoralis major, which is here on the chest. The upper fibers of the pectoralis major can abduct or adduct depending on arm elevation. The lower fibers in the pectoralis major extend the shoulder from a flexed position and adduct the arm. Next, we have the pectoralis minor, which is located underneath the pectoralis major. Its actions are protraction, downward rotation, and depression. It's strengthened by exercises like the decline bench press. Next, we have the coracobrachialis, which runs down the humerus right here on the inside of the humerus. This does pure shoulder flexion, adduction, and horizontal adduction. The serratus anterior are right here running across the ribs. These muscles do protraction of the scapula, which is back here. Next is the subclavius, which is sitting right underneath the clavicle right here, and that does depression of the clavicle. Next, if you spin around, we're going to look at the latissimus dorsi, which is located right here. It kind of runs down here. The latissimus dorsi does adduction, extension, and medial rotation of the arm. Next is the teres minor, which is under the scapula and runs to the humerus. This helps the arm to extend, adduct, and internally rotate the humerus bone. Next, we have the trapezius, which are here. The trapezius, the upper fibers, which are located up here, do elevation, head extension, and rotation. The middle fibers that are here do elevation, upward rotation, and abduction. And lastly, the lower fibers that run down here do depression, adduction, and upward rotation. The rhomboids, which are between the scapula, which are scapula right here. If you put your arm behind your back, you can see the scapula here, so our rhomboids are going to be here. You have the minor scapula up here, or the major rhomboids up here, and then, or the major rhomboids down here, and then the minor up here, and those do adduction, elevation, and downward rotation of the scapula. Last is the levator scapulae on the neck, which runs down here, and that elevates the scapula.